Starts now.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 5. I'm Nate Myhock. Like many people, we have had issues with the storms recently. Our signal is down. We have people working on it, and we hope to have it back up within the hour. Malachi Hills, accused of child enticement and repeated sexual assault, was sentenced in Oneida County Court today. Judge Michael Bloom sentenced Hills to 8 years in prison, along with 7 years parole for count 1, that being child enticement. On count 2, Hills was sentenced to 15 years in prison, along with 15 years of extended supervision, that count being repeated sexual assault. Hills will also have to register as a sex offender, and the victim, who will remain anonymous, appeared in court, as well as members of Hills' family. Hills was originally arrested in March of 2021 when law enforcement became aware of that sexual abuse. The victim said the abuse had been going on since November of 2017. Switching gears a little bit and looking at weather, Jeff, little break in the action for us around here.
Yeah, we're trying to melt the ice out of the trees today. Be our chances today and tomorrow, followed by a much colder weekend on the way, with highs over the weekend only in the 20s. Outside now, the sun sets at 7:15 tonight. Some light getting through now, but overall mostly cloudy skies across the area, with temperatures hanging out in the mid-30s here in Rhinelander, but there are some 40s across central Wisconsin, just a couple of them. We'll get a couple of those again tomorrow afternoon. All right, here's the cloud cover out there now. There are some breaks in the clouds off to the west. We'll get a break for several hours tonight. That will allow temperatures to drop into the 20s. That will refreeze everything this evening and make for some very slippery spots tomorrow morning. But then this little guy gets in here tomorrow afternoon. That's going to bring us some light snow, likely less than 1 inch of snow tomorrow afternoon. Our forecast then tonight, though, is decreasing clouds and just cold with low temperatures down near 20. Your full forecast is coming up. Nate.
Thank you, Jeff. And with that winter storm that came through the area just a few nights ago, thousands of Wisconsinites in the Northwoods are still without power. Here's a look at the Wisconsin Public Service outage map. The most outages are in 3 Lakes, where more than 2,500 people are affected. The towns with the next most outages are Lincoln, Plum Lake, Washington, St. Germain, and Lac du Flambeau. More than 80,000 customers have had their power restored so far, and WPS expects to restore service to 90% of customers affected by this storm by the end of Thursday. If you've lived in the central Wisconsin Valley for any amount of time, it's likely you've had friends or family who work at Merrill Steel, building heavy structural steel for industrial construction. The business started out manufacturing in a 5,000 square foot foundry in Merrill, but they have since expanded their founding in the 60s to now having a total of over 500,000 square feet. This in turn has allowed the company to take on bigger and bigger projects.
We're getting our hands in the projects where it's automotive plants, heavy manufacturing, sports arenas, high-rises. That's something that Merrill Steel really specializes in.
The team at Merrill Steel takes great pride in what they produce, including projects such as Lambeau Field, the Marshfield Clinic Connector, and the Las Vegas Raiders Allegiant Stadium.
Not too many manufacturers out in the industry can take that on, and we did it, and we got the job done, and we're pretty proud of that.
Coming up on Newswatch 12 at 6, Kyle Pazorski is back with a brand new Blue Collar Wisconsin, breaking down how the impact of manufacturers, including Merrill Steel, are critical in our country's economy. City officials met in Weston on Wednesday morning to discuss new findings from PFAS testing. The studies found that wells 3 and 4 exceeded the recommended levels of the hazardous contaminant. As a result, on March 17th, those 2 wells in question were taken offline. Studies have shown that PFAS in the environment may be linked to harmful health effects in both humans and animals. These effects can include increased cholesterol levels, a decreased response to certain vaccines, and reduced fertility in women, among others. Murder, neglect, and abuse charges have been filed against a Hayward man and woman. A 4-year-old suffering from cerebral palsy died in their care, and a lethal amount of alcohol was detected in her bloodstream. The child's mother, Samantha Smith, age 26, and her significant other, Dominic Faulkner, age 25, have been charged in connection to the case. Faulkner is facing first-degree intentional homicide, physical abuse of a child, and chronic neglect of a child charges. Smith is facing chronic neglect of a child and physical abuse charges. They will be both appearing for a preliminary hearing on March 28th. The United States is taking a step towards easing the humanitarian crisis in Europe. According to a source familiar with the decision, up to 100,000 refugees from Ukraine will be allowed to enter the U.S. The announcement was expected to be made by President Biden during his European trip as a way to boost support for those in need since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Polish officials were among those most vocal about the U.S. speeding up the process of bringing these people into the country. Meanwhile, the UN Refugee Agency says more than 3 million people have already fled the country of Ukraine. And earlier today, President Joe Biden arrived in Brussels as NATO countries met for an emergency summit to discuss that war in Ukraine. And during a press conference, Biden and U.S. allies pledged new sanctions against Russia, as well as more humanitarian aid for the country of Ukraine. However, there was no commitment of military assistance, despite the pleading of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But Biden did say that a chemical attack from Russia would likely prompt a response. The president will make a trip to Poland tomorrow to discuss energy and that refugee issue within the country. A new study has found that taking aspirin during the first day of hospitalization with COVID-19 may reduce the risk of in-hospital death and a pulmonary embolism. The results were strongest for patients over the age of 60 and for those with at least one comorbidity. The study looked at data from more than 112,000 COVID patients who were hospitalized with moderate symptoms from January of 2020 to September of 2021. Patients given aspirin on their first day in the hospital were nearly 14% less likely to die in the hospital, and patients who took aspirin were nearly 30% less likely to suffer a pulmonary embolism. COVID-19 continues to cause more than 65,000 deaths a week worldwide, and they say this highlights the need for accessible, inexpensive therapies for those who are unvaccinated. Congressman Tom Tiffany is in an important year for his office. He is up for re-election this November. And today he spoke with residents in the Weston Schofield area. Among the many topics that emerged, PFAS was a popular concern for residents. And naturally, the congressman spoke about this issue.
Make sure we know what is going on in regards to PFAS, what the appropriate thresholds are, things like that. There's a lot of research to be done yet, and so I think the federal government has a role in this.
He shared that the EPA is taking strides to help, and he also spoke to the continuing energy crisis within our country and what the Biden administration could do to help the U.S.
They can allow permits to be issued on federal lands because there's like a 4,600 permit backlog on our federal lands for drilling. They should get people working on that and reduce that backlog.
While Tiffany was met with some dissent, the meeting remained professional. Between today and tomorrow, Tiffany will speak to residents of Marathon, Wood, St. Croix, Douglas, Ashland, and Barron counties. The Pledge of Allegiance is recited in schools all over the country and often at government meetings at all levels, including board meetings in Dane County. But as Will Keneally reports, one county supervisor wants that to stop.
Just like elementary school,
I wonder if you all might join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance starts Dane County board meetings. It's even on the agenda. But at least one Dane County supervisor wants to scratch it from those agendas for good.
It's important for us to think about why we're doing things in our meetings the way we are.
Supervisor Heidi Wegleitner
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Introduced a resolution to do away with the pledge at the beginning of each meeting. She says it's part of a push to make county board meetings more accessible.
Is there unity if not all of us feel comfortable participating? If not all of our visitors or public commenters want to participate?
Her push was met with sharp criticism from another supervisor, Jeff Wigand.
I was disappointed to see the proposal.
It's not just the pledge proposal that has Wigand upset. The beginnings of county board meetings also include a section for prayer or an inspirational message. Wegleitner's proposal would narrow that to just an inspirational message.
By taking it out of the equation and taking away that option, we are actually, creating a more divisive environment.
Wegleitner says she doesn't want to discourage people's free exercise of religion.
When people are associating the pledge with being a Christian nation, like that to me really says something about why it is that people hold on to that.
These days, everybody would prefer if gas was free. Why one Chicago businessman is making that dream a reality. We'll explain after Weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
Celebrate Furniture and Appliance Mart's anniversary sale with our biggest scratch and save event ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 50% off. Plus no interest financing for 60 months. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart in Wisconsin.
Working families need help with rising costs. That's why Governor Tony Evers brought Republicans and Democrats together to cut income taxes for the middle class. Now, if you make $50,000 a year, you'll see over $500 a year in tax cuts, more for married couples. Couldn't we all use a little help dealing with rising costs? Call Governor Tony Evers. Tell him you support his new law on middle-class tax relief.
Here's why it's smart to custom order your Ford SUV, because custom orders receive priority. You'll get an extra 1,000 order bonus plus incentive protection, guaranteeing you the best offer now or at delivery. And the features you choose. Want an EPA estimated 41 combined MPG in an Escape Hybrid? A 12-inch touchscreen in an Edge? You got it. In a Ford built your way. Order your new Explorer SUV to lock in the special Flex Buy offer and get 1,000 custom order cash.
Carpet City. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale ever and receive free carpet installation along with an additional $300, $600, or even $1,000 of savings on all flooring products and sale prices. That's right, free carpet installation and an additional savings of up to $1,000 on top of the sale prices. See why contractors and designers only choose Carpet City Flooring Center for their flooring needs.
Our prices will floor you.
Celebrate Furniture and Appliance Mart's anniversary sale with our biggest scratch and save event ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 50% off. Plus no interest financing for 60 months. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart in Wisconsin.
We are going to melt some ice out of the trees today and tomorrow before highs in the mid-20s return over the weekend. That is not normal. The average high being mid-40s. We're not going to do that anytime soon around here. Today, though, a couple light rain showers out there and a couple of flurries as well. Not a big deal, of course. These will actually clear out of here tonight. And then tomorrow, we have some light snowfall back on the way. Right now, it's 35 in Rhinelander, a light snow shower at the airport there with a northwest breeze around 5. Over in Wausau, 41 for you. You're getting your meltdown there with a northwest breeze around 6 miles per hour. Okay, so around the horn, temperatures are at 33 in Antigo, 38 for Wapaka, 39 for Green Bay, but warmer back off to the north and west. You're like, well, what's up with that? Well, that's where there is some sunshine out right now, and the late March sunshine has some power to it, giving temperatures a boost out that way right now. And look at all the warm temperatures across the Midwest. However, those are going to stay there. A reinforcing shot of colder air gets in here tomorrow evening, and that's going to be some issues for us because we have colder air on the way. We need to get this heavy ice and snow out of the trees first before the kind of cold air over the weekend kind of bakes it in, right? So going forward, temperature-wise, 38 tomorrow. All right, we'll take it. 28 for Saturday. And look at, this is close to the average low temperature will be our high temperature on Sunday with a high of 24. And then a bit warmer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but nothing to call grandma about here. We're talking about highs basically in the 30s through much of next week and beyond. So no real heat headed our way anytime soon. Snowfall amounts. We're now at 78 inches of snow in Rhinelander this snow season. And I pulled this map up because here are the top 5 snowiest seasons in Rhinelander. So to make the list, we have to get to 91.3. So we're still about 13 inches away, but you and I both know that we could easily get an early April snowstorm. Not really on the horizon right now, but a little bit of snow in the forecast for us for tomorrow. So the clouds will get out of here tonight. We'll quickly replace them with some clear skies for a few hours. For this guy, it doesn't mean much. It has a little bit of moisture with it, a little bit of energy. That's going to bring us a 1-inch snowfall across the area tomorrow. But again, we've had heavier snows just 2 days ago. We had 6 inches of snow. This looks like a 1-incher across our neck of the woods, basically north of Highway 29 again into tomorrow evening. So our forecast then tomorrow is temperatures basically near 38 with a couple of light snow showers through the afternoon to the north. We're a couple of 40s again across central Wisconsin tomorrow with some light sprinkles, rain showers, and light areas of flurry action there as well. Our forecast then tonight, though, is lots of clouds out there. Low temperatures down near 20 with a northwest breeze around 5. For tomorrow, all right, so scattered snow showers again. Nothing heavy, lots of dry hours too. High temperatures near 38 with a northwest breeze around 10 to 15, shaking those trees a bit more. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast, which furniture shows the story. Look at the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, highs only in the 20s, single-digit lows, and then some rain and snow gets back in here Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Nate.
Thank you, Jeff. This year will mark 10 years since the deadly shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School when 20 children and 6 adults were killed. Radio show host Alex Jones repeatedly called the shooting a hoax, and families of the victims are suing him for defamation. But for the second day in a row, he has failed to show up for a deposition. Jones's attorneys repeatedly asked for the deposition to be delayed, saying that Jones is dealing with some kind of medical issue right now, but the judge said it wasn't serious enough to warrant a delay. An attorney for the Sandy Hook families released a statement calling Jones's no-show a, quote, cowardly attempt by Mr. Jones to escape accountability for the years he spent spreading lies about Sandy Hook. Every year, tens of thousands of people come to the U.S. to save themselves from persecution and violence. The way we handle all those people, deciding whether they can stay or if they need to go back, is known as our asylum system. And a potential overhaul is in the works. The Biden administration has been working on regulations that would settle claims more quickly, and it could help with the massive backlog in immigration courts. The plan is to let asylum officers decide what should happen instead of having to wait on an immigration judge. Right now, stats from Syracuse University show about 1.7 million cases are pending in court, and officials say they'll need to bolster staff to make this work, so things will start small, but they'll likely get started this summer. Last week, a Chicago businessman held a gas giveaway, and now an even bigger one was planned for today. 48 gas stations across the city of Chicago and its suburbs will participate, but after the gridlock during last week's $200,000 giveaway, some officials were concerned. Stephanie Wade reports.
I had no idea that it was going to be this big, but when it happened, it just exploded. And I was surprised like everybody else.
Willie Wilson is digging into his pockets once again. The millionaire who's previously given away truckloads of face masks during the pandemic, now planning to donate $1 million worth of gas to help people dealing with the surging gas prices after already shelling out $200,000 last week.
A lot of people didn't get a chance to. They stood in line, and I saw people in tears.
It's free gas. It's up to $50, right? Yes. So the gas is off $5 a gallon, so yes, I'll be here.
Bobby Nall says she'll be here tomorrow at this participating Shell station in Park Forest.
We found out about it Saturday afternoon, so it's kind of been a rush to get things prepared.
Park Forest PD says they'll be directing cars through a residential area to avoid backup on the major thoroughfare after last week caused massive gridlock in Chicago. A few suburban locations have since decided not to participate.
It took the better part of a day to try and figure out the best route that's going to cause the least amount of impact.
The town of Cicero and the Chicago Police Department also working to mitigate traffic issues. Cars can begin lining up at 7 a.m.
Last week, we really weren't given much notification. This time around, we had a few days extra to kind of plan for this.
It's impressive for one person to reach 100, let alone 9. Why a group of Good Samaritans brought these senior citizens together to celebrate. We'll explain after the break.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by the WPS Farm Show. Grow new ideas.
Need a lift? Get back on your feet with a lift chair from Mall Furniture. Recline, lay flat, massage, lift. Mall has a huge selection from top name brands, all available to take home today. Mall Furniture, Marshfield, Wisconsin.
I wish I could find somewhere to eat that serves lunch so I can relax and have someone clean up after me. I miss lunch at the Rhinelander Cafe and Pub. The Rhinelander Cafe and Pub is opening for lunch? The Rhinelander Cafe and Pub is opening for lunch. The Rhinelander Cafe and Pub will be opening for lunch starting February 22nd. Exciting new choices, but some of the favorites too.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Ivor from Marshfield. I lost 130 pounds and over 60 inches. I've got so much more energy than I ever had before, and I also have the confidence to pursue cycling and kayaking and keeping up with my grandkids.
Most patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695. That's 715-203-8695.
Need a new mattress? Come see the huge Comfort Sleep Gallery at Mall Furniture in Marshfield. Choose from all sizes and firmness. Two-sided, flippable, and made in Wisconsin. Need adjustable bed? Everything is in stock and ready for immediate purchase at Mall Furniture Marshfield.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
9 Minnesota senior citizens can now celebrate a new title, centenarian. Sophia Martinez takes us to today's celebration.
I'm 103. 101 and a few months.
A Century Grand March was held on this Wednesday afternoon for 9 senior citizens who reached a milestone. The Good Samaritan Society in Windham hosted the event and had its own 100-year marker to celebrate. They have served seniors in the community for 100 years. Lorraine Jacobson was born 1920 and shared her secret to turning 101.
No smoking, no drinking, and I worked hard all my life and had a good family.
After having to endure the past 2 years of the pandemic, residents and staff have been looking forward to this celebration.
So we had planned a 100th birthday party for her in November of 2020, and we had to cancel it because of COVID.
Her family was devastated, but her daughters found a way to spend the important day with her.
And it was just the 3 of us for my birthday supper.
Today, they're celebrating big with their loved ones.
Never realized that I would ever last this long, but the good Lord is with me every day and has been, and it means a lot to me.
One piece of advice these families have for the community:
appreciate each day.
In Windham, Sophia Martinez, KYC News Now.
Celebrate Furniture and Appliance Mart's anniversary sale with our biggest scratch and save event ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 50% off. Plus no interest financing for 60 months. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart in Wisconsin.
Play your way. Dine your way. Stay your way. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wittenberg. Win your way.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. very well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy pickup trucks. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Chevy truck with accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Tony Evers, all of them. They talk, schools close down. Police are attacked, belittled. Critical race theory flourishes. They talk. One person does something. Kevin Nicholson has organized thousands of Wisconsinites to support our police, get kids back in school, and stop crazy teaching. You want talk? Or something done? The doer is no nonsense Kevin Nicholson as governor.
Now is the time to turn your dream into a reality with design and buy projects at Menards. Breeze through your project planning with ease using interactive tools that factor in the details that matter and get 11% off everything. If you're dreaming of a kitchen with an island for entertaining, a deck to grill up the perfect hot dog, or a post-frame building large enough to protect your prized possessions, what are you waiting for? Get a free estimate with instant pricing and buy your project today with Design and Buy at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Celebrate Furniture and Appliance Mart's anniversary sale with our biggest scratch and save event ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 50% off. Plus no interest financing for 60 months. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart in Wisconsin.
We mentioned it a few times throughout the show, but obviously this winter storm that came through, even though, yes, I know, it is spring, it's knocked out power for a lot of people around the area, but luckily it looks like we'll get a chance to kind of regroup tomorrow.
Yeah, there's still lots of ice in the trees, of course. We put some heavy, wet snow on top of that ice, over 6 inches here in Rhinelander. That has lots of weight, right? Then we had some wind on top of that, which blew the branches and trees over, thus the power issues. But today, we have temperatures above freezing now, so we're melting some of this ice off the poles, off the lines, out of the trees. Tomorrow, though, we'll have high temperatures back up in the mid-30s again, but there is a little bit of light snow headed our way for tomorrow. Not a lot, less than an inch or so. It'll be light and fluffy snow. So the clearing skies tonight give us lows in the 20s. Whatever is kind of crunchy out there now or slushy will refreeze. Here's our next system there. Bring us some light snow tomorrow. Again, not a big deal, but then just cold for the weekend. Highs in the 20s this weekend.
You say not a big deal, but it's still snowing.
Highs in the 20s this weekend. I want to talk about that.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's just too much.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 6.